Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So there's a whole bunch of news about the solo Batman film that Ben Affleck is making with Geoff Johns. So this is going to be a breakdown of that. So everybody saw Ben Affleck at Comic-Con. He was there just because they were bringing all the directors for all the Justice League related films. Like Zack Snyder is directing Justice League, so he was there. Ben Affleck was there because he's directing the Batman solo film. But they also had the director of the Flash movie, they had the director of Suicide Squad, etc. Affleck was recording it on his phone. It was really funny. He's like, this is super nerdy, but it's just like a huge deal for me, so I'm just so happy to be here. So the big talk right now about the Batman solo film is that, Ben Affleck has come out and said openly that he's not going to make it till he's ready to make it. They're still writing the script. He's writing the script with Geoff Johns. If there was any mistake about that, he and Geoff Johns are the only two people that are going to be working on that script. So I think even though Christopher Nolan is still one of the best auteurs working today, like most of his Batman films will still be like on the top 5 list of best Batman films of all time, no matter how many more Batman films they make. But I think just with the talent behind this Batman solo film, they have a real solid chance to make one of the top 3 Batman films of all time. Now, usually where films like that fall down is when you get too many cooks in the kitchen, but if you remember, there's been a lot of behind-the-scenes reorganization with the way DC produces its films. So now, tangential big news, if you guys didn't know about it, Geoff Johns is president of DC Entertainment in addition to chief creative officer and film czar, like he's head of DC Films along with another producer. And then sort of within that, he has complete creative control. This will actually make you poop your pants a little bit. Complete creative control of the new Batman solo film. So when they are finally ready to actually sit down and film it, it will probably be one of the best Batman stories of all time. Now that's a whole lot of news, so I'll circle back around to that Geoff Johns stuff at the end of this video. But the real big question is what is the story going to be for this new Batman film? And pretty much everyone believes now that it's going to be an Arkham Asylum story done in the tone of The Raid. If you don't know what The Raid is, it's this really amazing Korean film. It's basically a non-stop adrenaline rush from the perspective of these police that are fighting their way from the bottom of this prison to the top to take down a crime boss that has taken over the prison. So we don't know which characters would be in it, but they say it would just be jam-packed with Batman villains because Arkham Asylum would naturally be filled with a lot of Batman's worst enemies. So if you didn't know, Arkham Asylum is set near a cliff face, so it actually goes down. So ground level is almost like the highest level. So say the Joker takes over Arkham Asylum, releases all the prisoners, and has something that Batman needs. Batman needs to take down the Joker, but he's at the bottom level. So for 2 hours, Batman just kicks his ass all the way down, level by level, down till he gets to the Joker. So even though that's an oversimplification, does that not sound like the most badass Batman action flick ever? There's some Batman films that are more existential, there's some that are more action-based. The Dark Knight is probably Christopher Nolan's best Batman film. It's kind of a blend of the two. Just remember the action sequence where Batman saves Superman's mother in Batman v Superman. It's just a non-stop action, right? As he's just kicking ass all over that warehouse till he saves her. Imagine a 2-hour version of that, and the people that he's beating the shit out of, the criminals, are just really big Batman villains. So you have all this implied backstory because there's a story for how Batman put those criminals in. Each one of those criminals in Arkham is a different Batman story that happened sometime in the past. Because this is an older version of Batman who had actually hung up the cape and cowl before Batman v Superman. So now that he's put it back on, they can have a lot of fun with the way they address all these past adventures that he's had. Now the next big question you're asking is where would it appear in the timeline? Because they've already got all these other Justice League films that they're making, they have the Flash movie, they have the Cyborg movie, they have the Aquaman movie, there's Suicide Squad, then there'll be more sequels, there's the Wonder Woman movie. So what they'll probably do, just for the sake of simplicity, is they'll set it somewhere in present day in the timeline. When you do a film that's as self-contained as Batman fighting his way down to the Joker or another big villain at the bottom of Arkham, you don't really need to acknowledge the timeline too much. You can wink at things that have happened in other movies, but Superman doesn't need to appear in it, so you don't need to address whether or not he's alive or dead. Maybe Batman gets help from the Flash or one of the other Justice League members, then you would acknowledge some stuff that's been going on. But otherwise, the only other things that you would really want to acknowledge or have some fun with is when Batman put each of these criminals in Arkham. What was that story? How long ago did it happen? How long have they been in Arkham? If we see Two-Face in Arkham Asylum, or if we see Mr. Freeze, how long have they been in there? What was the story of how Batman put them in there? So of all the different types of Batman movies that they could make, making an Arkham Asylum movie is probably just the easiest slam dunk that they could possibly be delivered. The way Ben Affleck has talked about it so far is that it won't be a direct adaptation of any one particular comic, but it'll take inspiration from several comics. It might even take inspiration from some of the Arkham video games. But if you're looking for Arkham stories to read that are really good, there are actually several. Arkham has appeared in like 3, maybe almost 400 different Batman comics. So yeah, there are a lot of Arkham stories to draw from, but Arkham Living Hell is a really crazy fever dream. It's just a complete nightmare, but an amazing story. Arkham Asylum, A Serious Place on a Serious Earth is also one of the best Arkham stories of all time. I mentioned the Joker taking over Arkham. He actually did it during this story. Grant Morrison wrote it, so you know it's a complete acid trip. It's totally amazing, visually stunning. So the Joker takes over Arkham Asylum, takes the staff hostage. Batman has to go in and save everyone and take the Joker down, kick his ass. So you can't go wrong with Grant Morrison, you can't go wrong with the Joker taking over Arkham and Batman beating the shit out of him. But let me know, what is your favorite Batman Arkham story? And do you want Ben Affleck's Batman movie to be an Arkham movie? I just feel like it's an easy slam dunk, and they're always looking for movies that they can turn into toys or rides. You could totally turn an Arkham movie done in the style of The Raid into a video game. It would be non-stop action. It would be amazing. So just to circle back around to Geoff Johns, this was actually a bit of a surprise for me the other day. So I read about the deal about him being promoted to president of DC in addition to all the other things that he's doing. So it's amazing news, but the real surprise is that they said that they did it, like they promoted him back in May, right after people started to freak out about Batman v Superman. So I think the reason why they were burying the lead, they didn't say anything about it at Comic-Con. Geoff Johns wasn't at Comic-Con, which is a big deal. Usually he goes to all the big conventions. I think it's just because they didn't want to steal thunder from the other DC films that they were trying to promote. They didn't want to steal thunder from Suicide Squad, which is coming out really soon. They didn't want to steal focus from Wonder Woman, which is coming out next year. So it's very understandable, but everybody just give Geoff Johns a giant high five from the screen. Most deserved promotion in all of comics right now. He really is like the Kevin Feige of DC Entertainment right now. So I'm so happy for him. But in celebration, there's a new round of the DC giveaway this week. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. It's a $20 Amazon gift card. There's a couple more DC videos that I'll do this week. My next video is probably going to be The Flash Season 3. There's also some really cool stuff going on with Supergirl Season 2. I know I haven't done a video from Comic-Con for that, so after I do The Flash, I'll do something for Supergirl Season 2. So a lot more DC, a lot more Marvel stuff coming this week. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click here for my breakdown of the Wonder Woman trailer, and you can click here for my breakdown of the Flash Season 3 trailer. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.